What if everything you believe about your life being yours is an illusion? What if your fears, habits, and even the challenges you face were quietly inherited from those who came before you? Every choice your ancestors made, every unresolved pain, every unspoken desire flows through you, shaping your destiny in ways you cannot see. But there is hope. Awareness is the key. Once you recognize these hidden forces, you can break free, transform inherited patterns, and consciously create a life that is truly yours. Your destiny is not fixed. It can be awakened, understood, and mastered. Generational echoes are the subtle currents that run through the river of life, shaping who we are in ways we often do not realize. The choices, joys, fears, and sorrows of those who came before us leave invisible imprints that quietly influence our thoughts, emotions, and action. When a parent faced hardship or a grandparent made a particular decision, the energy of those experiences did not vanish. It carried forward into the next generation, not as a story alone, but as an imprint on the consciousness of their descendants. This influence can manifest in patterns that repeat across time, often unnoticed, guiding our reactions, shaping our desires, and even nudging us towards circumstances that mirror the unresolved struggles of our ancestors. These echoes are not merely psychological, they are woven into the very structure of family and society, influencing traditions, values, and behavioral tendencies. We may inherit resilience, wisdom, or joy, but equally, we may inherit anxieties, compulsions, or unhealed grief. The subtlety lies in how these forces operate without our conscious awareness, like a wind that bends the branches of a tree, shaping its growth without the tree knowing why. To live fully and freely, it is essential to perceive these generational echoes and recognize their presence in our lives. Awareness allows us to witness the patterns we carry, not as chains, but as threads that can be consciously woven into a fabric of understanding and growth. By sensing the invisible forces that our ancestors have left behind, we gain the ability to navigate life with greater clarity, compassion, acknowledging the past without being enslaved by it, understanding that our personal journey is intertwined with a larger web of familial and ancestral experiences that continues to shape our present reality. That invisible patterns are the unseen frameworks that quietly govern much of our daily life, guiding our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways we rarely notice. These patterns are not born purely from our individual experiences. They are inherited from the lineage we come from, encoded deeply within our minds, bodies, and even subtle energy. From the moment we are born, we absorb not only the explicit teachings of our family and culture, but also the unspoken habits, fears, and inclinations carried by those who preceded us. A child may inherit a grandparent as anxiety, a parent as perfectionism, or a family tendency towards certain joys or aversions, all without conscious awareness. These invisible patterns shape our reactions to situations, the choices we make, and the relationship we form, often repeating cycles that have been lived by generations before us. They manifest as recurring emotional triggers, behavioral tendencies, or internalized beliefs, creating a sense that life as challenges and opportunities are predetermined, when in reality they are echoes of inherited forces. Recognizing these patterns requires deep observation and reflection, the willingness look beyond surface behaviors and see the subtle influences that steer our decisions. When we become aware of them, we can begin to disentangle ourselves from unconscious repetition, understanding that these inherited tendencies are not our faults, but inherited energies waiting to be understood and transformed. Through conscious awareness, we can choose which patterns to continue, which to release, and which to transform into wisdom and strength. By uncovering the invisible structures that shape our inner world, we gain insight into the interconnectedness of life, seeing how our personal experiences are entwined with the legacies of those who came before us, and learning to navigate life with great clarity, freedom, and conscious intention that karma is often understood as a personal ledger of actions and consequences. Yet its scope extends far beyond the individual, flowing through generations like a river that carries both clarity and sediment. The choices, intentions, and unresolved actions of one generation create ripples that subtly shape the experiences of those who come after. A parent as unfulfilled dreams, a grandparent regrets, or even a distant ancestor as decisions can influence our life, manifesting as patterns we struggle to understand or circumstances we feel drawn toward without knowing why. This generational karma is not about punishment or reward. It is the natural unfolding of cause and effect across time, an invisible energy that seeks balance and completion. We may encounter recurring challenges in relationships, health, or career, not simply because of our own actions, but because these situations are echoes of unresolved threads carried from the past. Often, these karmic currents operate silently, guiding us toward lessons that were left unfinished by those who came before, urging us to complete, transform, or transcend what was once begun. Recognizing that karma is both personal and ancestral allows us to see our struggles in a larger context, revealing that life is a shared tapestry of causes and effects rather than a solitary journey. This awareness does not absolve us of responsibility. Rather, it empowers us to approach life with insight, understanding that our actions can break cycles, heal inherited wounds, and create new possibilities. By perceiving the flow of generational karma, we gain the opportunity to respond consciously, to act with awareness rather than habit, and to transform inherited burdens into sources of wisdom and growth. In this way, the continuity of karma becomes a guide, illuminating the path we are called to traverse and offering the potential for liberation from unseen ancestral influences. Awareness is the gateway to freedom, the light that allows us to see the hidden forces shaping our lives. When we begin to recognize the ancestral influences and karmic currents that flow through us, we step out of the unconscious repetition that has governed much of our existence. The patterns inherited from our family, culture, and lineage often operate silently, steering our thoughts, emotions, and actions without our realizing it, creating cycles that seem inevitable. By cultivating awareness, we illuminate these patterns, observing them as they arise without judgment, and begin to understand the ways in which our reactions and choices are influenced by forces beyond our personal experience. This recognition is not about blame or guilt. It is about seeing clearly the threads that connect us to the past, acknowledging the energy and intentions of those who came before us, and discerning what belongs to us and what is inherited. Awareness brings clarity, allowing us to respond to life consciously rather than react out of habit or ancestral conditioning. It gives us the opportunity to break free from repetitive cycles, to heal old wounds, and to consciously shape our own path. The process involves deep introspection, reflection, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about the legacy we carry. Yet it also opens the door to profound empowerment. Through conscious observation, we discover that while we cannot change the past, we can choose how we live in the present, transforming inherited tendencies into sources of wisdom and strength. Awareness acts as both mirror and guide, revealing the influence of unseen forces while pointing the way toward liberation, allowing us to honor the past without being bound by it, and to create a life that is conscious, intentional, and aligned with the deeper truth of who we are. The belief that we fully control our lives is one of the most comforting illusions, yet much of what unfolds in our existence is guided by forces beyond our immediate awareness. We often think of destiny as a product of personal effort, talent, or choice, imagining that our successes and failures are entirely our own. However, our lives are deeply intertwined with the experiences, actions, and decisions of those who came before us. Ancestors leave behind not only tangible legacies, but also invisible imprints, patterns of behavior, emotional tendencies, and unresolved karmic threads that shape the circumstances we encounter. These inherited influences act quietly, nudging us toward situations that mirror past challenges or repeating cycles that seem familiar yet unexplainable. The illusion of ownership arises because these forces are subtle, often blending seamlessly with our personal desires and decisions, making it appear as if everything is self-directed. Recognizing this does not diminish our agency. Rather, it expands our understanding of reality, showing that freedom comes not from denying these influences, but from perceiving them clearly. When we acknowledge the unseen currents of ancestral karma, we gain insight in why certain relationships, patterns, or obstacles keep arising in our lives. We can then approach life with greater discernment, making choices that are conscious rather than reactive, and breaking cycles that no longer serve us. The realization that destiny is partly inherited invites humility and reflection, reminding us that our journey is a shared continuum rather than a solitary path. By seeing through the illusion of complete ownership, we are empowered to act intentionally, transforming inherited tendencies into wisdom, and shaping our lives with awareness, courage, and insight, navigating between the echoes of the past and the possibilities of the present. Transformation begins the moment awareness meets action, allowing us to honor the past without being trapped by it. The burdens and patterns inherited from our ancestors do not have to dictate the course of our lives. They can become opportunities for growth, understanding, and conscious creation. When we recognize the energies, habits, and unresolved experiences carried down through generations, we gain the power to respond rather than react, to choose rather than repeat. This process is not about rejecting the past or feeling guilt for what came before. It is about seeing clearly the threads we carry, understanding their influence, and deciding how they will shape our present and future. Through reflection and mindful action, inherited karma can be transformed into insight, resilience, and wisdom, turning what was once a limitation into a source of strength. Each conscious choice acts like a ripple in the river of lineage, altering the flow and creating new possibilities for ourselves and those who follow. The transformation is gradual, requiring patience, honesty, and courage as we confront tendencies that have been embedded in us for generations and examine the ways they affect our behavior, relationships, and decisions. By embracing this responsibility, we shift from being passive recipients of inherited patterns to active participants in our own evolution, learning to integrate the lessons of the past without being confined by them. This conscious transformation not only liberates us, but also brings healing to the generational stream, breaking cycles of fear, limitation, or unresolved suffering. In this way, the awareness of ancestral influence becomes a tool for empowerment, allowing us to consciously shape our destiny, honor the lineage we come from, and cultivate a life that is free, intentional, and rich with understanding and compassion. In the end, life is a delicate dance between the forces we inherit and the choices we consciously make. Our ancestors' experiences, their joys and struggles, ripple through our being, shaping our patterns and influencing our destiny in ways we often do not see. Yet awareness and conscious action give us the power to break free from these invisible chains, to transform inherited karma into wisdom, strength, and liberation. By observing the echoes of the past without judgment and responding with intention, we step into a life that is ours to shape, honoring those who came before us, while creating new possibilities for ourselves and the generations to come. May you embrace this journey of understanding with courage and clarity, recognizing the threads of ancestry yet choosing the path of conscious freedom. Trust in your inner wisdom, act with awareness, and allow each moment to be a step toward transformation, healing, and self-discovery. Good luck on this profound journey of life, and awareness. Thank you for opening your heart and mind to these truths. And may each choice you make bring light, growth, and deeper understanding into your life.